Sit up straight. No elbows on the table. You'll need proper etiquette for this morning's Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the South Carolina Civil War Museum, housed here in the Myrtle Beach Indoor Shooting Range. We're focused on etiquette, and we're visiting with the director of the Etiquette School of the Carolinas, Dianne Marsch. Good morning, Dianne.
Good morning.
Love your firm handshake there. That's very nice, or a nice handshake. Great to have you in this morning.
Thank you so much.
What about this South Carolina Civil War Museum? It's amazing, isn't it?
It is.
Your husband's out straying around here in the shooting range and checking out some of these amazing artifacts.
Yes, having fun.
Absolutely, that's right. While you're in here for 30 minutes. Thank you again for coming in. What an exciting experience to have kicked off the Etiquette School of the Carolinas. You've got a sister location in Manhattan, I believe.
Yes. I actually travel up and down the East Coast, and I work with corporations, I work with financial institutions, I work with real estate companies, universities, colleges, as well as children and teens. And I usually take a child around 4 years of age, and I have a curriculum that can go all the way through to high school. And then I have what's called the professional imaging class.
Right.
And I have a professional imaging class that will absolutely set you apart from your competition. My imaging class, every participant in that class will attain a new level of professionalism because the newly acquired skills, the strong motivation to do the best, and their self-esteem improves.
That's tremendous, and you've seen it already in some of your existing clients. You've seen that market difference or change that's occurred after being in your classes.
Absolutely. And I taught in Clemson, I'll be teaching in Hampton University in Virginia.
Tremendous.
And the Coastal Workforce, HGTC, I did a program with them. And I can see improvement in all areas.
Wonderful.
We have to keep in mind the tagline being skills for success, confidence for life. And we truly teach the basic skills required to have that confidence for life. We have to keep in mind that manners are more than mere formality. Manners are the foundation in life that helps you deal with every situation. And mastering good manners, as well as knowing and using the correct skills, enhances us in every aspect of our everyday lives as well as our professional lives.
It's fascinating. I don't think I'd contemplated that manners had such a tremendous impact on our lives on a daily basis. I don't think I'd taken into account thinking that through, that obviously your posture here is wonderful at 7 a.m. That in and of itself here at 7 on a Thursday reminds me I need to be sitting up, particularly here in this environment. But manners, when you talk about manners having that kind of an impact on our lives, what are some examples of that? I mean, I guess if it's that involved in our lives, you really probably, the examples would be endless. But when we think about how the importance of manners.
Actually, if we go back to the professional imaging topic, and making that dynamic 30-second impression is crucial. Keep in mind that it's a fact that when people look successful and when they exude confidence through the way they speak and the way they carry themselves, they send a very positive and dynamic message. And you only have one opportunity to make that dynamic 30-second impression. People always ask me, just give me 2 reasons that I can use to help me make that first impression. And I usually say, I'll give you 2, one is free. The first one is wearing a jacket. It gives you command. When you have a jacket on, it gives you, not only are you in command, you receive respect. And along with that, it helps you establish credibility. So when you're wearing that jacket, it sets you apart from your competition. Also, good posture. You refer to posturing. Good posturing. Keep those shoulders back and down. And when you do, you actually will send a very positive, authoritative, and confident message.
Probably good for your back as well.
That's
or is
true.
That, yeah, probably good for my back. Think about being on a computer much during the day. Or there's some things you can do in a business environment, Dianne, that, real quick, if viewers need to get off to work right now or get family out of the house, what's the best, is there a good phone number, local phone number? Is there a website that viewers could visit to learn more about the Etiquette School of the Carolinas, or even your location there in Manhattan?
They can go to etiquetteschool.org, O-R-G.
Right.
And our toll-free number is 1-877-506-2663.
Okay.
Or they can go to nyc.etiquetteschool.org.
Okay.
And the same phone number. And then a local number would be 843-390-1887.
Okay, 843-390-1887.
Correct.
Okay, great. And etiquette's possibly a tough word for folks to spell. You know, they can hear it, they can say it, but may have trouble spelling that. That's E-T-I-Q-U-E-T-T-E.
Correct. And that's a good point. They often say, could you spell that for me, please?
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of folks probably ask about that. Etiquetteschool.org and the local number 390-1887.
Yes.
A lot of folks probably call, and what are some of the most frequently asked questions that you hear, Dianne, when folks call in? Are there some ideas that if they're looking for something for their children, obviously when they want to think about getting better table manners, I'm sure that's an issue that parents oftentimes face. What can I do? My child's out of control when we go out to eat, or even at home. Or are there certain things that parents could be thinking about?
Absolutely. I suggest, first of all, children should be taught good manners all the way from the time just about 2 years of age and up.
2.
Keep in mind that families are on the go, and manners are not taught like they used to be. And when a child is 3, now I actually take a child at 4 years of age and continue through. However, when a child is 3, I suggest that you teach them how to properly place the napkin on their lap. They're able to use it. Not only that, they should know which foods are acceptable to use their fingers to eat. Along with that, they should know that their mouths should be closed when they're chewing, and also they don't speak when they have food in their mouth.
Right.
And then about 3.5 years of age, they should be capable of waiting. Mommy's plate isn't completed yet. I don't have my plate, so you cannot help yourself. No one can start eating until everyone's been served. And also by the time, just before 4, they are capable of please taste a little bit. You don't have to eat it all, but taste a little bit and of each serving. And that helps discipline them and teaches them patience as well as manners. And then they're 4 years old and they come to me.
Right, yes. And you start to, do you actually oftentimes visit their location, their home, or do they come to the Etiquette School location there at the Galleria?
Actually both, because I work with various ages and I've been an educator most of my working career and have a curriculum that's very age appropriate, very engaging, and very effective. I work with the churches as well, work with a lot of country clubs here.
Sure.
But I also do a lot with children, teens, and adults, and I always work with the adults. Includes the dining, but it also includes professional look, and for instance the right wardrobe and how that affects you.
Absolutely. You mentioned working, and obviously mentioned dining there. Viewers can see in one of those shots this tremendous spread there. Of course, our director was talking earlier this morning about the Titanic and some interesting pieces about eating on a boat, which is very important to think about. But even seeing this great spread here gets me hungry. That's there could be a lot of courses with that many plates. What's the significance of all this silverware out on the table?
It just shows you if you're going to have a 4-course meal and how the table would be set up. And I don't have the glasses displayed, but you should have no more than 4 glasses at any time for a dinner.
No more than 4. Yeah, I can't even imagine having 4.
Yeah. And then the fish fork, and then your entree fork, and then your salad fork if you're eating the continental style of eating. And of course American style or zigzag or crisscross all means the same. And along with that, I actually take 4-, 5-, and 6-year-olds out to dine.
Is that right?
They come into our office.
Right.
We have a 3.5-hour class. Then they will meet me in the restaurant, and I just took a group, 2 4-year-olds, 2 5-year-olds, and 2 6-year-olds, and they sat there for 2.5 hours.
No.
And they took their turn. They knew that my little hourglass, actually a minute glass, they knew that they would have a turn and they could talk about their favorite topic, their favorite book, their favorite animal, and they sat there and they practiced how to hold their utensils. And it's very engaging, a lot of fun, and very effective for that age.
I bet it is. Sure, you've got some items here that viewers are probably not used to seeing, or at least I'm not used to seeing. What's this fancy little piece right here? I don't know if viewers can, I don't know if there's a proper way to hold that up. Does that sit on tables very often? What would this be for?
That is a utensil rest. And people don't always know that the minute you use any utensil, you are never supposed to let it come in contact with the table again. And if we were to travel back to King Louis XIV's time, and he had those grand banquets, and we often do that. We're role-playing a lot with the children and the teens, and we would travel back, and they become weary travelers on the dirt road, or they attend a banquet for King Louis XIV, and they would find these pieces. And this, they usually say, is a sugar dish, a little tiny sugar dish, but actually it's a salt cellar.
Oh,
and
really?
if you were one of the invitees going to King Louis XIV's banquet, you would actually look, the minute you enter, you would look to see where the salt cellar was located on the table, to see who would be the most important person, because that person would be seated the closest to the salt cellar. And it's really interesting. And children come in, and we do, as I said, we do a lot of role playing, we do a lot of activities where they're engaged, a lot of fun-filled learning techniques, and as a result of that, I also share a lot of history, and I talk about why elbows aren't allowed on the table, and
why they
aren't,
are not,
and
right?
that's really a confusing topic to a lot of people, because some of the rules have changed today.
Is that right?
As a result of that, it's now appropriate where the man used to wait for the woman to extend her hand. Now the man can come up, and remember, you're professionals. You are equal. And elbows being on the table, I actually still teach no elbows on the table. The rule has been changed somewhat because of the fact that elbows can be placed on the table if no one's using any utensil, no one's eating or drinking anything, and then they can place their elbow on the table. But I prefer to teach always, your wrists are on the table, so it's always, which also gives you good posturing.
Right.
And along with always, sometimes means you can lean in. If you aren't eating or using any utensils, you would lean into the person to show that you're very engaged and focused on what they're discussing. So always, sometimes, and never.
Never.
And it's an easy rule for the children to
When you
remember
say
as
the
well.
rule, not to cut you off, excuse me, when you talk about the rule changing, now we're thinking from King Louis's time, or we're thinking over the last 20, 30, 40 years, and who's making the rules?
People change, just like the .com companies resulted in a change in wardrobe, which I'll explain in just a moment. But the rules actually are changing because there are constantly new etiquette rules to follow in not only professionalism, but in dining as well.